The next New York Jets head coach may have just been revealed as Aaron Glenn dropped an absolute bombshell in a massive Jets head coaching update, saying that he would take the New York Jets job over any other job if it gets offered, including the New Orleans Saints one, and we have to talk about this. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris here, and if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. It helps us out a ton, and if you guys subscribe to the channel, if we can get this up to 25%, I promise I'll show you guys a photo of my co-host, Matt, when he had a bowl cut in our freshman year of college. It was absolutely hilarious, but let's jump into this video, guys. Aaron Glenn, man, most often you don't see the New York Jets as the number one option for someone to become a head coach, but then comes along a former Jet who helped turn around the Detroit Lions, and things, they changed. Now, as Aaron Glenn revealed via Brian Costello of the New York Post, he has said that he told people the Jets are his first choice if he were to be offered a head coaching position. This has been revealed now by multiple outlets who now know that Aaron Glenn basically just came out and said, I want to be the next New York Jets head coach. Give me that job. Let me turn this ship around. I helped turn the Detroit Lions around. Let me do it in New York as well. Aaron Glenn, a former New York Jet, played his first 8 seasons with the Jets as a cornerback, was a 2-time All-Pro there. All the accolades in the world, or well, not really, but a lot of good accolades. As mentioned, he's interviewed with, or will interview with, the Jets, the Saints, the Bears, the Jaguars, and the Raiders. He declined to interview for the Patriots job that went to Mike Vrabel in what was not a well-kept secret once New England fired their head coach, or former head coach, Gerard Mayo. And guys, this is just an awesome story. I mean, the Jets, they don't get this very often. You don't usually get a guy who outright wants to coach the New York Jets. Now, Aaron Glenn, as we've known, he did not take that Patriots job now, or that Patriots interview. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this. One, I think we all know the Patriots probably weren't going to hire Aaron Glenn unless he absolutely knocked their socks off in the interview, which he could do. He's probably an excellent interview if you look at everything the man has ever said into a microphone. But you look at the Patriots. You look at the fact they fired Gerard Mayo because Mike Vrabel's looking for a job. Mike Vrabel, I mean, Bill Belichick was his mentor, was with the Patriots for a long time. Mayo gets fired because he wasn't a good head coach, even though he was Bill Belichick's hand-picked replacement. After 1 year, they decide to go forward with Vrabel. Everyone knew what was happening. The second that Mayo got fired, it just became so clear that Vrabel was going to get the job. And also with Aaron Glenn's coworker, Lions offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, interviewing for the Patriots job, and Ben Johnson being higher up on that list, on that tier list of guys who were available in the head coaching cycle. Well, it's pretty simple. Glenn knew he probably wasn't going to get that job, and he probably didn't want that job compared to other ones. He probably didn't want to waste his time when he knew he had other jobs that he could absolutely go out there and get. As Dan Campbell mentioned, if Aaron Glenn does not get hired, he'd love to have him back, but it would just be such a mistake if no team hires Aaron Glenn. We know Ben Johnson's almost certainly going to end up on the Las Vegas Raiders. Tom Brady himself made the call. Brady's a minority owner of the Raiders. It just makes all the sense in the world that Ben Johnson's going to go to Vegas. New Orleans, it's unclear. Matt and I have both mentioned that we think it's a perfect spot for Mike McCarthy to end up, and that would make some sense. Also, if Mike McCarthy goes there, on a little side note, look for Aaron Rodgers to sign with the Saints. Just a potential thing that could happen, and if he signs there, probably Devontae Adams will as well. Just some other Jets news to take a quick peek at, but no need to make a full video on that, honestly. We kind of know what's going down there. Rodgers isn't coming back. If he does, I'd be happy. I'd be thrilled, honestly. I want Rodgers and Adams back. But hiring Aaron Glenn is a sign of a new regime, and in that case, I'd be fine with jumping into this rebuild head first. I mean, if the Jets bring back Rodgers and Adams, it either goes poorly again, or it goes well enough to where the Jets are some first-round playoff exit, which would be nice just to be back in the playoffs. But at the same time, there's these top-tier quarterbacks in Nico Iamaleava, in Arch Manning, in Drew Aller, if he decides to wait until next season to go to the NFL draft. It's a big question. It kind of seems like he's indicated he wants to go back to Penn State, but also that NFL money stares you in the face. Now, Penn State's a big school. They get big NIL deals, so Drew Aller's getting his bag, but still, it's kind of hard to not turn down that NFL money and the stadium and the chances of getting picked in the top 10, because Drew Aller, very likely he could get picked in the top 10 this year. Mortal lock unless he has a terrible year at Penn State out of nowhere next year for just the top 10. Look, the Jets have to be thinking about Iamaleava and Arch Manning. The biggest splash anyone could make in this draft is by drafting one of the two guys out of Colorado, whether it's Travis Hunter or it's Shedeur Sanders. The Jets won't have a high enough pick to do either of that. I expect the Tennessee Titans to fully draft Cam Ward first overall because of Cam Ward's cannon. Outside of that, we'll see Shedeur probably end up in the Giants. He kind of has indicated he wants to go to the Giants. The Giants seem like a fit for him. Travis Hunter, I have a feeling he's going to end up in the Patriots. I don't know. It's just a feeling I have. I think it just kind of adds up that it would make sense that Travis Hunter ends up in New England, especially with New England's high pick as well. But we will see how that goes. The New York Jets, they have the 7th pick in the draft. It'll be interesting to see what they do, how they start building on this future. The weird thing about the Jets, because they have so many veterans, is that they're such a young team. I mean, you have a young pass rushing phenom in Will McDonald who had a breakout year. You have Jermaine Johnson coming back after his Achilles injury. You have Quinnen Williams, who's still not that old. You have Quincy Williams, who will probably re-sign with the Jets. You have a future cornerstone middle linebacker in Jamie and Sherwood. You have Sauce Gardner still doing his thing. You have Michael Carter, who's just signed to that extension, who's one of the best slot corners in football. The Jets could very well draft a corner 7th overall. Potentially, if Will Johnson's there, I'd love it. I think he's friggin' phenomenal. I think it would be an amazing, amazing, amazing move by the Jets. You have an absolute no-fly zone going. They could figure out the safety issues later. Safety is not an important part. It's not important enough to draft in the top 10. Then on the offensive end, you obviously have your franchise guy in Garrett Wilson. You have Breece Hall. You have Braylon Allen. You have a young offensive line that's exciting, and Elijah Vera Tucker. Obviously, Olu Fashion, who's a swing tackle, who's mainly going to be a left tackle. You have Joe Tippmann, the man who played every single snap. Hopefully our next Nick Mangold. We have exciting things going for this Jets team. John Simpson will stay a good veteran on that offensive line when just speaking on the line. The Jets could easily draft an offensive tackle, go that route. Huge move there. Continue to move forwards with that offense as well. The Jets have a young team. A young team would benefit off Aaron Glenn coaching him. He's not an old coach. He's 52 years old, so he's not super young, but the man would be perfect on a rebuilding team, and I do think we are going to see him coach the New York Jets 100%. I mean, the Lions, they allowed the 7th least points per game, despite the fact that basically their entire team got injured. I don't know why I checked I did the fake watch check for injuries and not time. Guys, you guys know I'm stupid. I can hardly read these graphics that I make. I see the comments. I see what you guys say about me. Hurt my feelings. No, I'm kidding. I don't care. I can't read them. Dude, I read them beforehand anyway, which is insane, and I still just absolutely botch them. But look, I think that Aaron Glenn is the perfect coach for this New York Jets team. Yes, I would not mind if the Jets had hired an offensive guy, but I'm not really going to complain at all with Aaron Glenn. I think it's hard to complain with Aaron Glenn. As mentioned, a former NFL cornerback who played from 1994 to 2008, long career. Glenn spent the first 8 seasons of his career with the New York Jets and was selected to 2 out of his 3 career Pro Bowls there while wearing the green and white. He's also worked as a personnel scout for New York from 2012 to 2013 before making the transition to coaching in 2014. So this is not Glenn's first rodeo. This is not his first time coaching the New York or being part of the New York Jets organization. It would be round number 3. 3rd time's the charm, man. I love the idea of Aaron Glenn as the next head coach of the Jets. I will say right now, if Aaron Glenn is not the head coach of the New York Jets, I will be straight up stunned. I'll genuinely be shocked. It'll be one of the more shocking things to happen in recent memory for the Jets. Now, just taking a look at what Aaron Glenn even said, because I know some guys, like myself, just mentioned it would be nice to have an offensive coach. Well, here's what Aaron Glenn said. Here's one thing that I would say about myself. I'm a coach. I just happen to be on defense. I understand the offense just as well as a number of people. So if you want to hire me, you're going to hire a coach. You aren't going to hire a defensive coach. I'm going to talk to the offense just as much as I'm going to talk to the defense. Aaron Glenn cannot stop saying the right things, something the New York Jets desperately need, instead of Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich saying absolutely nothing negative whatsoever. And I know this was very positive, but I'm just saying on the note of Jeff Ulbrich going, oh, well, Hassan Reddick's one of the most mature and great people I've ever met. No, he's not. You are lying through your teeth. I don't believe Aaron Glenn would do that for a second. I don't think Aaron Glenn's going to be the complete hard ass that some guys the Jets could hire would be, but I think Aaron Glenn knows exactly what he's doing coming off that Dan Campbell tree. He's going to, if he coaches like Dan Campbell, absolute cinema, as well as the Jets potentially hiring a guy in the Lions front office. That would be huge as well. It would be very interesting to see a bit of a Lions conglomerate going to the Jets. Aaron Glenn would probably be able to bring some of the Lions' brain trust with him into the New York Jets. The Lions have turned it around and are one of the best franchises in football right now, which is an absolutely absurd thing to say, but it's true. And I think Glenn would be the first step in the absolute, not even the first step. The Jets have made steps in the right direction with their drafting so far. It would just be a step in the right direction for the Jets as they have a top 7 pick and just continue to improve upon this team. But guys, I want to hear from you guys. I'll get back to you guys in the comments down below. Little secret, Matt usually responds to most of the comments. I do mine on Knicks and Yankees Digest, so I got a lot of stuff to respond to, but I'll respond to this video down below. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like Aaron Glenn as the next head coach? Do you think he's going to be the next head coach? Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets.